Oh, shoot. All right, guys. Welcome to my next review. Let's see if I can... these are arranged in such a way. This is my next review. This is the fancy insulated coffee cup review. And talk about each individual cup, what I like and I don't like about each one of them. And then I guess we'll do a test of which one wins as far as retaining heat. The retaining cold thing, they all pretty much do the same thing, holding cold, so it's not really any point of showing any of that. I put ice in all three of them and held ice for, you know, over 24 hours, so I would say that that's kind of not even worth mentioning or talking about at all. What we want to do is put coffee in these things, or hot beverages in these things, and I guess the point of these cups is, if you're like me, you kind of sip your coffee. You know, if you're a coffee sipper, you know, you take a long period of time to drink your coffee. You know, these cups will definitely be beneficial to you. But if you're someone who drinks coffee normally, you know, like you drink your coffee quickly, like in an hour's time you can drink 4 cups of coffee or whatever. You're just hot beverages or, you know, your thing, and you can just, you know, guzzle them. You're probably not going to need a cup like this. But for me, I can take between 3 and 4 hours to drink my my coffee, my morning coffee. I have usually about 4 cups of coffee total, and I take about 3 hours on average to drink that 4 cups of coffee. So what was happening to me over and over and over and over again is my coffee was getting cold, and I don't like to drink cold coffee. So that's what kind of started this whole thing off. I want to start out by mentioning, let's start with the Yeti Cup. This cup is, you know, just from like a cosmetic standpoint is a beautiful cup. The coating that they put on the Yeti products is the best. I don't think that that's even something you could even argue. It's superior. The coating on the outside is superior. One of the things that I really like about the Yeti Cup is the way they went shy of the entire side of the cup. They leave this portion at the top where you're putting your lips on the cup to drink is not coated. I like that. I just feel better not having the coating to the top. I mean, that's a personal preference. The logos on this cup, I mean, the attention to detail, you know, the Yeti logo is kind of, you know, built into the cup on this side. And then on the bottom, which I like, you got your Yeti logo here, and then you flip it up and the Yeti logo is in the right direction on the bottom. Just you know, small things like that. The attention to detail is really good on this cup. It's superior in that way. This is also the most expensive one at about 25 bucks. The design of the cup is it uses the same lid as the Ramblers, like the full-size Rambler cup does, like the 30-ounce Rambler. It's the same lid. This lid fits like you know, a much larger cup. So basically what they did is they just cut the, you know, the bottom off of a 30-ounce Rambler, and that's what you have here. It's the same diameter. They put a handle on it, and there you go. There's your coffee cup. Same lids. It does not come with their new magnetic lock lid, which would have made this cup much better in every way. You know, it is what it is. This is the lid that it came with. It works fine. It's just a very large surface area. It's much larger in diameter than the other cups in this comparison. The inside of this cup is stainless steel, and it's polished to perfection. It's hard to say anything bad about this cup. It's just well made, well designed, but in practical use, when you're using this cup, you know, you're actually using this cup in comparison, direct comparison to other cups, the other two in this comparison. This cup is heavy. it's noticeably heavier. It's got a flatter bottom. It's more stable. It's, you know, when you set it down, it's less likely to tip over, that kind of thing. But it is heavier. It's got this large surface area, and in my experience while actually using this cup, I felt like it was noticeable that this cup was the least insulating of the comparison of the cups, as far as holding the heat longest. Towards the, you know, the 4-hour mark, this cup, while using it, because the tests will show something different, I'm just saying from actual experience using this cup, I found that after 3 hours, this cup kind of gave up the heat retention, and my coffee became kind of a little warmer than room temperature kind of thing if I let it go too long. This also doesn't fit in cup holders, which has been mentioned in a lot of other reviews. I don't know why you would use a cup like this in a cup holder in your car. There's not going to be too many cup holders that this, I mean, the diameter of the base of this thing is really big. So that's a negative, but I don't, that's not the way I use my coffee cup. I don't know. I mean, it just seems to me if you're going to take coffee on the go in your car for like a trip or something, you would much prefer the tumbler style cup than a coffee cup. That's just my personal opinion. So I used this at home, and I used it for work. Each one of these cups I used for a solid week, every day for a solid week. That way I could draw some really strong conclusions. The lid's sealed really well. It fits on here really well. Coffee does not, you know, spill in this thing real easy. And that's pretty much it for the Yeti Cup right there. So let's set this one aside and let's move on to the Ozark Cup. Now this cup here, just for comparison purposes, is real cheap. I think they're like $7 for one, and I bought 4 for what this one cup cost here. So you can buy 4 of these for what the Yeti Cup costs, and that's what I did. I bought a set of 4 of these. As far as the build quality, the machining, and that kind of stuff, this is by far and away the other end of the spectrum. If this is the high end of the spectrum, this is the low end of the spectrum, and it shows. Things are not as smoothly polished. You can feel the machining lines. The inside of the cup is a little different. It looks like they did a better job on the inside of the cup. The outside of the cup is kind of rough feeling. It's very lightweight. I mean, I don't think that this weighs any more than a standard coffee cup. It's very light. One of the things I don't like about this cup is on the bottom, there's this label. I don't know if that's going to focus to where you can see it. On the bottom is this label that says "Do not remove," and if you rub your finger over it, it feels like there's like a hole there. I don't know if there is, because it says "Do not remove" and don't take it off. But what I think this is I'm just guessing, this is a guess, how they vacuum seal this cup with this hole on the bottom, and they put this label over the hole. Yeah, I don't like that. You know, yeah, that just kind of shows, you know, the difference in the money. You know, I mean, that just screams it out. I mean, I have other Ozark Trail insulated cup products, water balls, that thing, and there's no glaring thing like this in the build of those cups, but there is on the coffee cup. This is an 8-ounce cup. The other 2 are 14-ounce cups. But when they say that this is an 8-ounce cup, they mean this very literally. You fill this up all the way to the rim to where it does not hold any more liquid. That's 8 ounces. So this isn't really like if you go to Denny's or something. This is like the size of that mug, okay? One of the things, just after I used this for a week and I was done with my review, I started using this for whiskey, and you know, whiskey over ice is kind of one of my favorite adult beverages. I'll put a little scotch and, you know, and some ice, and I found I really love this cup for that. This cup is the perfect size for that for me. Like I mix a drink with some ice and some scotch in this, and I can sip on this all night long and never have to get back up and refill it. You know, it's so I find that it excels in that scenario. I really like it for that. This cup also retains its cold and heat really well with the lid off. Like, even if you don't use the lid and you know, like you just have it open like this and you're using it like a regular cup, it still retains cold and heat pretty well because of the really small surface area. So that's something to mention. So I guess that's it for this cup. I mean, this cup does what the other cups do, and it does it comparably. It does it just fine. There's no problem with it. It's much cheaper if you're into saving money. I think it's durable. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, if you buy this cup, you're not going to be like, oh man, you know, this is disappointing or anything like that. It works well. It's just not, you know, as far as the way it's manufactured, and it just doesn't feel premium. It feels more utilitarian, you know. So that's about it for this cup, and let's move on to the Arctic. The Arctic cup is 14 ounces, but you notice it does it in a kind of a slender, taller, you know, way. This is not your typical Arctic product. I have several Arctic products, and it seems like whoever designed this or whoever made this or whatever the process was to make this really stepped up their game. This is so well designed, and you're thinking, well, this is just a cup. What are you talking about? I'm telling you, it's really impressive, the performance of this cup. Really, really impressive. And Arctic, you know, here's the Arctic logo right here, like we talked about with Yeti. And then in the bottom, the Arctic logo is, you know, attention to detail, man. It's just little things like that, attention to detail. And the logo is squared up, or in the, you know, like it should be. I've never seen an Arctic product that has that. Like I said, I have several, and it's a small thing. It's not a big thing. It means nothing. It just means that they cared about the manufacturing of this product. That's all I'm saying. The coating on this, like a textured powder coat. The outside of this is like a powder coat, but it's textured. It's like an anti, you know, slip. It's not a smooth coating like you see on their other products. This is textured. They coated the whole cup, and it's this particular one is yellow, so it's a, you know, you can kind of see in some places where the you know, where the coating is a little thinner, like right here at the top of this handle right here. It wasn't sprayed as thickly. I can kind of see some of the stainless poking through. So basically they made this cup. It's the same as all other cups. They taped the top or covered the top or something, put something over the top, and just willy-nilly sprayed this cup. I mean, the coating compared to Yeti is not even in the same league. It's not even the same ballpark. One of the things I don't like that I mentioned before, see how this one has polished stainless at the top. They didn't take the coating all the way to the top. This one goes all the way to the top. I just would prefer it didn't. I would like it to stop, you know, a quarter of an inch shy of the top. My personal preference on that. But other than that, on the inside of the cup, the bottom of the cup is dimpled. I don't know if you guys can see that, where ice rests off the top, off the bottom. I don't know if that makes any difference. I have no idea. It's got to make some kind of difference, because this cup, as far as the performance of cold and hot, murders the other two cups. If you're looking for a cup that really does its job, wow. This cup is like got magic unicorn dust in it. I don't know what to tell you here. I forgot to mention that this also fits in a regular cup holder. So does this. Also fits in a regular cup holder, no problem. It's, you know, because it's a tall, slender design. But where this cup really shines is the lid. Now, a lot of people are going to be surprised that I said that, because I saw on Amazon when I was purchasing this cup that there were several negative reviews related to the lid. And in general, Arctic makes some of the most frustrating lids on all their products that I've ever encountered. I think their lids are their weak link and always have been, except for maybe the slider on the tumbler that was a direct copy of the, you know, the Yeti lid. But generally speaking, their lids suck. All of them. I mean, I can't, like, all my Arctic products, man, I have to say, the thing I hate about Arctic products has always been the lid. This lid, they got right. They nailed it. They put it out of the park. And let me tell you what's special about this lid. A lot of people were complaining online that this latch, this like cap that, you know, pushes down, you know, to close it completely and seal it up completely, did not go back all the way. They're saying online, like on Amazon reviews, that it stays like this and then it hits your nose when you try and take a drink. Well, that's not the case with my lid. I'm just telling you what's up. This goes all the way down and flat, and you don't touch your nose on it at all. So I don't know if they've redesigned this since the initial complaints happened. I guess that's what happened. I don't know. But this lid does lay flat, and it's a superior design than everything else. It's got threads. This cap threads onto the cup, and you twist it, and it makes a tight, super tight seal. When you close this thing's good for way longer than you want to have your coffee stay hot. This thing will keep stuff hot and cold because of this lid, you know, tightly screwing on there with the cap. It's just a superior design. I mean, in my personal opinion, by a long shot. And the tests prove that. And my personal experience proved that. Using this cup, as far as my personal experience, using this cup for a week, has all been positive. I love this cup. This cup is, you know, except for the little nitpicky things that I'm saying about it, this is a superior cup in every way. The coating, but the coating's not bad. It's not a bad coating. I'm just saying when you compare it to Yeti's coating, this isn't as good. But this cup is way cheaper. This cup will cost you about 15 bucks, so it's about $10 less than the Yeti cup. I really love this cup. So let's bring them all back. There's a clear winner here as far as my personal experience using these cups, and I think you already know what that winner is. It's not even close for me. It's not even like this is the winner. The Arctic coffee cup is a clear winner for me, and I know that that's going to go against the grain for some of the other video reviews that you've watched, but I'm calling it like I see it. This is a better cup. It's just more better. It's more better in every way. I love this cup, and I really hope that this is a sign of what's to come for Arctic in the future, that they're going to make a lid that, a lid on all their products that is smartly designed. I'd love to see more of that from Arctic in the future, because right now that's their weak link. As far as a second place winner, I'm going to go with the Yeti. The Yeti is, I feel, a clear second place winner. I have no problems with this cup, but I just think it's built like a Sherman tank. Seriously, you could take this thing and beat somebody to death with it. It's big, it's heavy, it's amazingly built, but that's kind of its shortcomings for me actually using it. Actually using this cup, that was kind of a thing I didn't like about it. I loved it when I pulled it out of the box. I was like, holy moly, this thing, there's no way anything's going to compete with this. This is amazing. But then using it, I was like, holy crap, that is a rock. I got my coffee in a rock. You know, it was, that's kind of how I felt about that cup after using it. But it's a second place winner. This is our third place winner, and I don't think it's any surprise that this is the third place winner. I don't think you guys are just going to gasp with air and go, oh my God, that's the third place winner, you shill. This is the third place winner, all things considered, even the price, for me personally. If price is your biggest concern, do not be afraid to buy this cup. It performs, you know, it's neck and neck in performance with the Yeti. I mean, as far as how it keeps hot stuff hot and cold stuff cold, it's a direct competitor to the Yeti, even though I felt from my experience using it before I actually did the test that the Yeti was going to come in a solid third place. That's just how I felt without doing actual tests or anything. While I was using this, I always felt like my coffee got cold way quicker in the Yeti than it did in the Ozark Trail, but the tests don't show that. That's how I felt while using it. So I guess that's worth mentioning. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps you guys make an informed decision about where to spend your money if you're interested in a product like this. I'll bring you another one of these videos coming up real soon. Catch you on the next one. On that end.